And we're breaking it down with Tim May, 97.1 The Fan, Dan Aulbach from the Columbus Dispatch. Tim, 42-3. And, you know, I want to first start with the defense. And I talked to Matt Patricia. This guy is having so much fun. And I said it the other day, he's playing chess. Everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah, I mean, to me, what's amazing is, like, out at Washington, like a week earlier, they gave up that first drive, but they took the measure of what Washington's offense was going to be about that day and then put a stranglehold on them. They did the same thing against Minnesota. They took that first drive, and, of course, he got in the red zone. Ohio State hasn't given up a touchdown, I think, in this century. No, I'm just joking. But still, they've only given up 2 touchdowns in 5 games. But they took their measure, and then, as I said to Sonny Styles, then y'all put the handcuffs on them, and they really did. And that's all about adjustments, but also having smart players who can adjust on the fly. And yeah, Matt Patricia's brought a lot to it, but so is everybody else on the defensive staff, not the least of which is Tim Walton.
You know, Dan, the thing that, and Tim just talked about it, and in talking to Coach Patricia, I am so impressed because, you know, these teams are scheming. They're trying to figure out and give Minnesota credit. They came out that first drive, figured out a way to get it down the field. But then the adjustments that they made on defense, I mean, that's when you can do that. It used to be the old days you would do it at halftime. Now they're doing it right in the game.
It's funny. Drake Lindsey started that drive 8 for 10 for 65 yards. He was throwing outside the seams. He looked comfortable. He looked like he was getting a real hold of both man-to-man and zone looks that Patricia would throw. And, you know, he mixes it up with the players. And then he throws 90 yards for the rest of the whole game. So it really shows you that Patricia is watching. His players are watching. They're watching the coverages. They're watching. They're spying on Lindsey, who's not a mobile quarterback, and that's also a big difference in the quarterbacks they played these past 2 weeks versus this week. They were playing a pure pocket passer, and they were able to really contain him, and he didn't have a really successful drive the rest of the game.
You know, the other thing, Tim, is and you look at what Matt Patricia and Timmy Walton and James Laurinaitis and Larry Johnson, what these guys are doing, Matt Guerrieri, they are scheming and really playing to the strength of these players. I asked Matt Patricia about it. He smiled, and he's constantly scheming.
Yeah, but they'll be the first to tell you it's still up to the players to make the plays. I mean, the guy that's jumping out right now, I think, is really making a rise is Tywan Malone, a guy that some people had given up for. Okay, he'll be okay the rest of this year. You know, he transfers from Ole Miss, was fairly ballyhooed, was on an Ole Miss national championship baseball team. But the bottom line is he has really stepped up because that's one of the places in that defensive tackle, the 2 defensive tackle spots, they needed guys to step up. So you're getting guys playing well. Bo Atkinson going in for another concussed Kenyatta Jackson. That was huge in that game. So different guys are stepping up. I mean, 8 new starters on the defense, and the way they're playing, and they're only going to get better, is crazy.
You know, it's like Coach Coop used to say, you don't rebuild, you reload. They certainly did that on defense. Offensively, though, I want to talk about Julian Sayin because to me, and I want to give a shout out to the O-line. They are playing so well, and there's a nasty streak to those guys. I love it. There is a nasty streak to this O-line. But Julian Sayin, every week he gets better, and I think we forget, folks, he's just 19 years old.
You think about the differences between the challenges in this week versus last week. Last week, he's going to his first road game. He has to play against a loud stadium and still performs in the second half. He comes out this game. He's very comfortable. He uses all of the receivers. He uses Smith. He uses Tate. He really goes after his receivers, and he's aggressive. For a young player to be that aggressive and to listen to the playbook, too. Last week against Washington, kept it conservative, but he managed the playbook well. He was able to get downfield, and they did just enough. This game, they let it flash a little bit, and they were able to get a lot of explosive touchdowns, which is what you saw tonight.
You know, Tim, the other thing, when you look at this kid and talking to his teammates, Jeremiah said he is stepping up and becoming a vocal leader. 19 years old, but this guy is literally growing up before our eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to tell you something, man. Against Minnesota, he had the pop on his fastball. Or as I said, man, his fastball was smoking. On top of that, he was, with the exception of one ball down the sideline to Jeremiah Smith that could have been a touchdown if been thrown another yard longer. He hardly threw an error ball against Minnesota. That's what stands out about him is how consistent he's been. I mean, he leads the nation in passing accuracy, and that's probably going to maintain that. And the thing that stands out about him, like you said, is his cool, his calm. He gets out of the pocket. He looks very comfortable doing things like that. They've been moving him out of the pocket here the last couple of games especially. There's a long way where he can go, but he's already showing you a lot of good stuff.
We're also seeing the toughness in this kid. He took some big hits in this ball game, and he got up, and it didn't faze him. I'm really impressed. Now, you know, we talked about the O-line. Obviously, they're keeping him clean, but you know, it doesn't hurt that he's playing catch, in my opinion, with the best receiver corps in the country. And Jeremiah Smith is reinventing himself. We talked about that. Carnell Tate, oh my goodness. I mean, these guys, I mean, Max Clare, Brandon Ennis. I mean, we are witnessing, you know, just a heyday of Buckeye receivers.
To your point, just real quick, that Sayin throw where he got hit hard and still threw it down the middle of the fairway and right to Max Clare, that was brilliant. And the other thing, too, if I were to tell you Jeremiah Smith had 2 touchdowns and wasn't the top receiver in this game, you'd probably look at me like I'm crazy. But Carnell Tate was fantastic in that first half. His ability to get open on route running and Jeremiah Smith's ability to run after the catch. I mean, it is just brilliant. They play off each other's strengths really well. And Sayin is now getting comfortable with both of those guys, and it's really showing. It's only uphill for now, because they've been able to build on the playbook every week, and you've seen that between the differences in offense with these 2 games.
And it's pretty bold and brazen for a team to come in anymore and think you're going to take these guys out with man-to-man coverage. And, boy, as soon as he saw, you could see the lights going on in Carnell Tate's eyes and Julian Sayin on that 44-yard touchdown pass, because, boom, he's got Carnell Tate running down the field with man-to-man coverage, and he puts the ball right on the money.
The other thing, the running game, and all 3 running backs, and I think it's going to remain by committee. They all have their strengths, and they all had their moments in this ball game.
Yeah, I would say that, you know, the top teams in college football at the end of the year, they have fresh running backs that, you know, are still able to muscle it at the end of the season come playoff time. Yep. And this game, you saw there wasn't a huge emphasis to establish the run game like against Washington on the road, and they just let the passing game go. But you still have some explosive plays. You saw Peoples at the end of the game get that 30-yard rush. You saw, you know, Donaldson get in there. Bo Jackson Jr. again finding ways to make plays. They can afford to be conservative right now against, you know, maybe a passing defense that wasn't as strong. But if they continue to go by committee and save the gas tank for those guys down the stretch, imagine the playoffs, what they can do. Get Bo Jackson in space. He's going to make some plays.
Yeah, and significant. Bo Jackson got his first start in that game. On top of that, and like you said, it was important for James Peoples to get some success, which he did late in the game. So, like we're talking about here, it's important for all 3 of those guys to be coming on board, like you're talking about, in the same time.